There you have it. Manchester United won very, very comfortably today, 3-0. I'm buzzing, man. I'm still buzzing. Finished off the fan cams, got all the reaction from the guys. And obviously all very, very positive, man. Look, got to go right up to the start. Look, at the end of the day, Solskjaer made the changes that we all pretty much wanted to see. Pogba came straight back in. A lot of us wanted to see Matic in there. I certainly did, and Mason Greenwood. And I think they were the right changes. I did think maybe a little bit harsh on Fred, but Matic did make a massive improvement to us when he came on, and we all know what Pogba did when he came on today. Martial with a hat-trick today was unplayable from start to finish. I think everything he did was just spot on. He's taken his goal tally to 14 goals, which is a great return. That's the striker. That's the Martial that we know he can be. And to be honest, I've always backed him. I don't see it as this two-sided coin where some people think he's not interested and not the real deal. I always say if you get the service to Martial and the right players around him, I think he scores goals. I agree. He might not be like other strikers where he could definitely score in any team because he's such a pure goal scorer. But I do think if you give him chances and you give him a fluid attack, a dynamic attack, you're going to get the best out of Anthony Martial. Pogba and Bruno link up today was an absolute madness. I thought they'd done excellent. Just the interchange and the quickness and the sharpness with how we were passing the ball, how we were moving the ball. I thought we just done really well. And Matic, I tell you what, I'll say it straight. If Martial doesn't get a hat-trick today, Matic could have been my man of the match easily. I thought he was absolutely superb. I think I counted one time he gave the ball away. I was just so impressed with how calm he was on the ball, the calming influence. Rance said it best in his fan cam. He says Matic was just going around putting out fires pretty much before they even got going. And that's what he does so well. But also his passing in between the lines, I was so impressed with that. The way he penetrates with his passes and the decision-making and the fizz and zip on the pass. He passes with intent. He passes with purpose. And I think that was instrumental to us, just as instrumental as the other working cogs in the midfield with Bruno and Pogba. Rashford, look, he started the game poorly and he technically didn't play that well, Rashford, but, and there's a big but, he knows he would be sitting on that bench when he came off, knowing he should have had 2 goals today, minimum of 1. The Pogba one, he kicks the thin air, probably should at least get a shot on target from that. I'm not going to say he has to score, but he knows he should have done a lot better, but he's got to score the open goal on his left foot from Martial. But to be fair, look, if you're not going to take your chances, are you still involved in the game? Are you still going to make some correct decisions and have an impact on the game? The answer was yes. He got 2 assists. And, you might look at the first assist and say he's just kind of flashed it across the box, not knowing who was there. But he had a look. He saw Martial there. He put his foot through it. Martial, right place, right time. Great striker play from him. And, the third goal, I'm kind of skipping the second goal here, but the third goal was absolutely brilliant as well, because you see Pogba fizzing it into Fernandes. Fernandes just takes the weight off it into Martial. He punches it into Rashford, and Rashford again with a nice weighted pass. But the pick of the goals for me was actually the second goal, and I'll tell you why. What I loved about it was that we kept regurgitating the ball and making the right decision. So with Bruno, look, I get it. He's going to give the ball away because he's almost that last line of player before you get to the chance. He's the player who's touched the ball last before the person that scores. Do you see what I'm saying? So I get it. You get the same with De Bruyne. The amount of killer passes that they attempt, they're probably going to give the ball away more than most. But guess what? When you're going to give the ball away, that's where you give the ball away in the opponent's final third, trying a through ball, trying a shot, or trying to make something happen, So I don't really mind that. I get it. Sometimes he does look for the long distance shot a lot because, look, he's got a good record of scoring them. But I would like to see him just keep the ball moving a lot more. And I think that's what he done so perfectly for that second goal. He received the ball on the edge of the box and he went to shoot. And I literally thought, don't shoot. It's too far. Keep the ball moving. There's better options on. He sat the defender down, if I remember correctly. Then he kind of went again, faked the defender, and then gave it to Pogba. Then I'm thinking, Pogba, don't shoot. Don't force it. Don't try and go for glory. He done the right thing, kept the ball moving to Bissaka. We worked the opportunity, and then we get the ball to Martial, and we kind of score the perfect team goal. Do you know what I mean? The link up with Pogba and Bruno, I think when Pogba played that ball through to that little dink over the top to Rashford was sensational. I thought the net was going to ripple on that. I thought we'd get a shot off at least. It was just spot on. And yeah, we started the game probably a little bit slow in the first 3 or 4 minutes, but after the early goal, there was only going to be one clear winner. And what I liked most about the performance is actually quite a simple thing. We just did what we were supposed to do. Do you know what I mean? With Ollie picking the players that we all wanted to see on the pitch and start the game, the question is he going to? Are we going to be able to put the blades to the sword? You know, are we going to be able to make Sheffield United run after us? Are we going to be able to tire Sheffield United out? Is our intensity going to, you know, be high? What I liked as well is that we had a high percentage of possession, 70-odd% is at 70-odd% at times, but it was meaningful possession. It was possession with intent, you know. And we've scored like 33 goals. I think only conceded 3 in like the last 13 games. That's brilliant. Do you know what I'm saying? So yeah, we can moan when there's little discrepancies at the back and when people make mistakes. I get it, but in the bigger context, if you're saying you're playing 13 games, you're conceding 3 goals and scoring 33, that's a great return. Do you know what I'm saying? And I think we're starting to see Solskjaer's best team. That's the best team I've seen him put out. Probably since he got the job. Probably since he got the job on a permanent basis. You know, I know what happened when he was in the interim and we went on that great run, and then after PSG it kind of went downhill. We've never really recovered from that. But it's one game. It's one game. It's an emphatic win. It's a comfortable win. And let's face it, we did what we were supposed to do. However, the next game's just as important. I mean, the next league game. We need to put this run together. This is the first out of that 7-game run that we said we needed to go on before we get to Leicester City at the last game of the season. I want to talk about Mason Greenwood as well. I thought Mason Greenwood done really well. I was pleased with him. Maybe quiet in terms of the crucial chances he's had, but again, he was part of the link-up. He was part of the fluidness that was kind of seething through the whole attack, really. And I was really impressed with him. Ricky kind of disagreed with me. He said he didn't really think he offered more than what Daniel James did against Spurs. I disagree. Even when Mason was tracking back, the way he gets himself out of situations, and he just gives a different dynamic to our attack because he can come short and receive the ball, because he can run in behind, because he can come off the flanks and play as an inverted winger, because he can take a man down the outside on his right foot. He's just so versatile. And I just think for how the teams are setting up and how the games are playing out, I think he deserves to run the game. So big up Mason Greenwood on that. I think, look, at the end of the day, we've got a healthy problem because you're looking at that and Fred and McTominay, Fred didn't even get on the pitch, but, you know, Fred and McTominay are looking at that thinking, I tell you what, with what Matic has done there, you can't say fairer than that. He deserves to start the rest of the Premier League games. I don't mind if Solskjaer makes changes against Norwich. There's a lot of games to be played. And to be honest, we need to get top 4 secured. We need to go for broke. And look, Norwich look like they're down and out. We should be able to make some changes there. You know, you bring in your McTominay, you bring in your Fred, you maybe start Bruno or you don't start Bruno and you start Pogba more advanced or whatever. Start Agallo up tops. I don't care. You know, it's there for Ollie to change it. But that Premier League team for me needs to be exactly the same. People might argue that Maguire should be in there for more testing times, but you look at, Bailly should be in there instead of Lindelof. But like I said on a few shows earlier, we're not conceding that many goals. We're not exactly leaking like a tap. All the pressure was on David De Gea before the game, but thankfully it was a game where he didn't have to do anything. I could have gone in goal today, so not really much to talk about with De Gea there. And the centre-halves didn't have much to do as well. Harry Maguire, Lindelof, whatever they did have to do, I thought they were good in possession. And we just kept our intensity levels up. And, you know, Martial, again, that finish, what I loved most about the last goal, obviously not that it gave him the hat-trick, but just the coolness about him. The stadium could have been full today. There could have been 75,000 of us all in there. And Martial be in that same position, and he would have still sat the keeper down with ease. He's done it a couple of times this season, and he's got that in the locker. A lot of strikers would snatch at it, desperate for that hat trick, but not Martial today. He was simply unplayable. So look, going forward, I'm pleased. I'm happy. You can't really pick too much negatives. I think both fullbacks did extremely well. Great to see Wan-Bissaka get an assist as well that his play deserves. And there is a bit of a stigma attached to Wan-Bissaka that he can't sort his feet out or he's not good at crossing. There's many a times he puts balls in the boxes that are unanswered, you know, and thankfully today, you know, his ball that he put in was done the service that it deserved, which was a goal at the end of it. I thought Luke Shaw was good. I see what Rance was saying earlier in terms of it's not that Luke Shaw lacks ability, he just lacks maybe that desire. He has the ability. I want to see him just keep going. But I think he was good today, and it was just good all over the pitch. What can you say? Routine win. We were supposed to win the game with the team that we put out, and everyone went out and done their job. Hopefully, City go and do the job on Chelsea, which will be an interesting game because Chelsea will obviously feel confident. So, and Wolves won again as well. So it's not over. We just had to win this game and come out unscathed. No injuries. 3 goals, all to Martial. Could have been 5 today. Could have been 5. My man of the match obviously has to be Tony Martial. But if he didn't get the goals today, or the goals were a bit more spread out, I think Matic could have been up there. I thought he was absolutely superb. Bruno, I thought, was involved in everything. Yes, he gave the ball away here and there, and that can be a little bit frustrating, but he's so good and makes things happen. Some of the play, some of the touches around the corner, some of the takes the way he takes the ball on the half turn or on the Cruyff turn when it's fizzed into him, absolutely brilliant. So we're going from strength to strength, and it looks like we're in a really confident place now. So that's my man of the match. It goes to Anthony Martial. I'm out of here. Let me know who your man of the match was. I will see you guys after the Norwich game with more fan cams. I'm out of it. Peace.